Welcome back from Graphic Extras. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to copy a pattern from Illustrator and place it over into Photoshop, and in particular I'm going to show you how to do one of the hex by column using the pattern editor feature in Illustrator. So it's not for patterns for CS4 or CS3 etc. This is for later patterns that are slightly more complicated than the standard patterns that were in earlier models of Illustrator. Okay, so I'm just going to go now over to Illustrator, and this is one of the designs just here, and just going to remove that. And these are Arabic designs, Arabic inspired designs I should say, from Graphic Extras. And first thing to do to copy them over, just going to drag it from this library over to the actual art, and you actually can see it's of course filled up most of the screen. I just zoom out slightly and you've got this. Basically this is the design in its complete state. Well, if you copy that across to Photoshop, you'll find you won't actually get a pattern at all. In fact, it'll be just the pattern is just that, which of course is a pattern, but it's not actually probably the pattern you're expecting, which was the pattern beforehand that I just showed you. So now the key thing here you want to actually get is this little block here, and that's the key thing. That's the actual pattern box, bounding box, whatever you want to call it. And to get that, I'm just going to go over to the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw from that point there. You can see the anchor. I can drag it across, and there's the other anchor. Now you obviously can't see it because that's the one annoying feature with Illustrator. It just the selected pass suddenly, obviously when it's not selected, you can't see the bounding box, which makes it very inconvenient to actually do this sort of thing. But you can actually see when you've got smart, and I'm just going to go to View, Smart Guides on, that's the key thing. You can actually see the anchors. So you've actually got the anchor there, an anchor there. Now I can go to just select all that, and as that's the top path. This is obviously just the path I've just created. It's the top path, and when I do that, obviously I can go to the Object, Clipping Mask, Make. Okay, so you've actually got the design now here. Now I've done that. I can actually copy that across, but the key thing I think actually is to just do the crop, because sometimes you actually end up with all the other stuff. Obviously when you copy it over to Photoshop, you'll end up with all the surroundings. So key thing, crop. Just go over to the Pathfinder, and if you can't actually see the Pathfinder, obviously just go to Window, Pathfinder. Okay, so you got this design now. Now just go over, just Control C, or obviously Edit, Copy, and I'm just going to go over to Photoshop. There's Photoshop, and obviously the design is actually a square and not a rectangle, but I of course could at this point crop it slightly just to make it sort of least similar to that. This is just very roughly. And now Control V, Smart Object. I always like smart objects. Copy it in and just drag that up to the top. You can see it's just that top bit there, and just drag that down to the bottom bit there. Okay, that's it. And also View, Show, Smart Guides. That's a key thing as well, Smart Guides. Right. Okay, flatten. Now that's the entire design. It's actually been put there, so I can now go, of course I could select, I can also do Edit, Define Pattern, click OK. Now go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Pattern, click OK. Right. And if it's all worked well, it will actually show the design as a pattern still. Click OK. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work, this approach will work for every pattern. I have occasionally, when I've been doing these designs, I've actually noticed that some don't work that way. And so but it's certainly this approach should work for many of the patterns with Illustrator and putting them into Photoshop when you're using, let's say, the good old hex by column as well as obviously the other ones as well. Anyway, I hope you found this quick tutorial of interest and that you'll subscribe to Graphic Extras channel. Always adding new tutorials every couple of days. Thank you much.